What's up guys? In this video I'm going to be showing you how I recovered from my ankle sprain. Welcome everyone, I'm Gonzaga with Proteus Fitness. Let me start by saying that dancers have incredible mental fortitude, and that can be a plus and a minus because many dancers will get hurt and they think they can just push through things, and yes you can, but you won't actually recover and heal and become better. So I see that with many dancers. They will get hurt and just push through because they have the mental fortitude to push through the pain, but they will never recover. Like 5-10 years down the road, they still have that recurring pain on whatever it is that happened. I started dancing when I was about 9 years old, and for the longest time in my dance career, I never got hurt. I just didn't. I was always healthy and feeling good. Probably because I did a lot of cross training without actually knowing what cross training was. I did a lot of running and swimming and all of those things. But anyways, so I never really got hurt until I did. I had a pretty serious ankle sprain, and that led me into this whole path of learning about the body and not taking my body for granted and really focusing on health. So today I'm going to be showing you a little bit of what that journey was like and how from like week by week, from the moment I got hurt all the way to the moment that I was truly back and even better than before. One thing that I'm really grateful for is when I did get hurt, I had been dancing professionally for 7 years already, and I had been with the same company for 7 years. So I was kind of comfortable and okay with where what my place was in that company. So when I did get hurt, I felt very much okay with being open with my director and teachers, saying, hey, I cannot dance. I'm gonna take this time off and not dance, so you need to put someone in for me. And I think often with dancers, we don't feel like we can say that. We feel like if we get hurt and we say that we need a month off, that we will get fired or, like lose your job or whatever. So I'm really grateful that that happened and that I was able to allow myself and allow my body the time that it needed to recover. So let me walk through with you guys, like kind of week by week, how it went for me. I'm sure it's different for everybody. So I actually wrote it down on my phone so I don't forget anything, so I can give you fully everything that I did. So for the first 2 weeks, I rested. I did very light motion to avoid scar tissue buildup. I think that was super important. I don't know how much value the whole rice situation has anymore. At least not if you don't want to build scar tissue. Don't quote me on that. I'm not a doctor. I'm just telling you my personal experience. I got massages from physical therapists, and I used cold heat therapy. I actually did cold heat therapy quite a bit. So I would do like a bucket of ice and like extremely cold for 5 minutes, take it off for 5 minutes, back on 5 minutes, off for 5 minutes, and then I would go into heat, so like a hot bath or something like that, where I would go 5 minutes on the heat, 5 minutes off, and like that. So I did that probably 2 to 3 times a day for 2 weeks, actually. Now the other thing that I started doing consistently when I got hurt was I really paid attention to my protein intake. I started eating about 1.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight, which is quite a bit, but I do feel like it did help me, right? The other thing that I did was I took a lot of gelatin every day. And gelatin is incredible for ligaments, tendons, bones, just any tissue in your body really. And ligaments and tendons don't get as much blood supply as muscles do. So you need some kind of extra help with that. And in that first 2 weeks still, the only exercise I really did was core exercises. I would lay down and do abs or any kind of core movement where I didn't need my foot. because literally I couldn't even walk. Okay, so week 3 and 4, I started to walk a little bit more, and anytime that I wasn't walking, I was trying to rest as much as I could. And on top of doing some core exercises, I added back in some upper body exercises. Week 5 was when I started walking more fully. I would go really slow, it would still hurt quite a bit, but I started to try to do full motion without compensation, without having to go turned out or sickle the foot a little bit. So just take my time and fully activate the ankle joint properly, but slowly. I was still unable to go down the stairs. I remember it took quite a bit actually. For some reason, like, you need a lot more dorsiflexion than you think, like flexing your foot. You need a lot more dorsiflexion than you think when you're going downstairs. You never think about it, you just take it for granted. But the moment that you hurt your foot, it becomes actually really hard to go down the stairs. Going up the stairs, not so hard, but down the stairs took me quite a bit. I started biking at the gym as well as lifting weights. So by this point, I would do cardio, no biking, because I could get my cardio going without putting much strain on my ankle. So running or anything like that, no way. I could not have done it. So biking was a good idea. And I started to do weightlifting standing up because I wasn't moving, and it was good to start to stabilize my ankle as well, because it was just not working properly anymore. And then for my ankle, in that 5th week, I started to do more stability exercises with the physical therapist guiding me. And I started doing pliés on a reformer. So pliés on 2 legs, pliés on 1 leg, and slowly add more weight or more springs to it. My physical therapy was incredible. I'm actually going to leave a link below to her, so if you're by me and if you ever want any help from an amazing physical therapist, her link is below. Okay, so now we're to weeks 6, 7, and 8, and that's when I started to come back to class slowly. I was not jumping, and I could not do releve on a single leg. I had to do both legs. It was just too much weight and too much pain on one leg. And I started to slowly jump on the reformer. I had the previous week, I had started to do pliés and get that motion going, so we started to do some more releves and small jumps and slowly go into one leg, and it was a very slow road. Now let me point out that at this point I was not rehearsing. So here we are in week 6, 7, and 8, and I was not rehearsing at all. I was just not dancing. I would still come in, maybe watch rehearsals or whatever, but mostly I was 100% focused on getting back to health. So I would sleep plenty of hours. When I was awake, I was either taking care of my foot or taking care of my car, like trying to stay in shape, eating everything that I could possibly think, or everything that I saw online that would help with antioxidants and great amount of protein and gelatin and anything that made my body stronger, I was doing to get better. So finally, at 2 months, I started to come back to class. I started to take full class, I started to push myself a little bit more, and I started to jump again. So it took me 2 months to really get back into it. At that 2-month mark, it was also when I started to rehearse again. Now, let me also point out that it was at the very early stages of rehearsing. It wasn't right before a show and then I went on stage right away. I still took like a good 3 or 4 weeks of rehearsal before I actually went on stage. So it took me about 4 months to be able to elevate and releve on that one injured foot, which was my left ankle. So 4 months to actually go up and down on that one foot. Until that 4-month mark, I could only go up on 2 legs and then back down on the injured foot. It was impossible for me to just go up. It felt weak and locked and just not capable of doing it. So now we are at the 6-month mark and my foot feels great. I'm dancing again, I'm rehearsing, I'm back on stage, I'm super excited. But the one thing that still stayed with me was the mental fear. I just had this thing in the back of my mind every time I would do some kind of hard turn or some kind of hard jump, that for a second I would just doubt myself. You would just tell me like, "Ooh, you're gonna get hurt again," and you would just click in, and I couldn't get rid of it. It was just there every time. I remember like when I would do a double tour, I started to actually compensate the landing, and I would just land towards my right leg because I was so afraid of spraining it again. You know, like when your ankle sprains and your brain learns that range of motion and that movement is possible, but you know you don't want to go there, it actually creates quite a bit of fear, like it did for me. So it took a long time for me to actually get over the mental fear of injuring it again. So 8 months after my injury was when I finally got rid of my mental fear. And I remember it was like a week where I was just rehearsing a lot and I just didn't think about it anymore. And I was still taking care of myself and all of that, but it just went away. So it took 8 months for that fear to go away. And now I can jump, land without any fear of hurting it again. I know it's gonna be there, I know it's healthy, I know it's strong, and I know you will be able to take my weight. Alright, so fast forward 1.5 years to the present, current date. I'm fully healed physically and mentally. I'm not scared of hurting it anymore. My left ankle feels great. I can go biking, hiking, jumping, whatever, outside. I can go running on like grass and I'm okay. So it took quite a bit to get here, but I feel like my ankle's stronger than ever. Now, I did incorporate a lot of stability exercises for my ankle. And that was something I never really did before. I just thought, you know, dancing was enough and I was strong enough and that was it and I was all good. But it was not. Now that I do a lot of stability exercises, like what my ankle feels like now compared to what I did before is just unbelievably different. I feel so much stronger and more safe when I do anything now because I have the strength and the brain muscle connection now that I never did before. So 3 exercises that I truly think helped me while I was hurt and still help me today. So these might have some value for you as well. So the 3 are, number 1, calf raises and turned in, not turned out like you do all day. So turned in, parallel calf raises. Resisted dorsiflexion is the second one. So you just put a band resisting your foot and you just flex your foot. So you should feel on this muscle right here on the outside of your shin. And the third one is, like I mentioned, is stability exercises. Use like a half foam roller or a ball. You can have these stability pods, just anything that might create an unstable surface for you to stand on, and basically do every exercise you possibly can in an unstable surface, because it's just gonna help you become so much stronger and so much more stable as like a full unit, like a full body working together to stabilize and keep your joints safe. Alright, so things that I learned from my injury. Number 1, I have to say, is not taking your body for granted. Like I mentioned earlier, for the longest time, I was just dancing, running around, doing whatever, super happy and proud of never getting hurt. But I never actually did anything to help me not get hurt. I was just lucky. And now, after I got hurt, and I would just, like, even just going down the stairs, it became impossible. And I realized how much of a beating your body takes every day for you to just live a regular, easy day. And now I'm incredibly aware of that, and I take care of myself like 1,000 times more now than I did before I got hurt. My second lesson was looking for the resources that exist to help you become a better dancer and a stronger dancer. There are many things you can do to improve your dancing that don't actually mean dancing. You could go swimming, do yoga, resistance training, hiking, I don't know. There are so many, and you have to find one that fits your lifestyle and your schedule, but do find one. It's incredibly important for you to strengthen your muscles in a different way. What happens is when you're dancing and you're doing the same exercises the same way for year after year after year, you start to build muscle imbalances. So your joints start to be pulled in a certain way that might not necessarily be healthy for you. So when you do any kind of cross-training exercise, cross-training just basically means any other kind of movement besides the movement that you primarily do for a living. So the moment you start to do like cross-training exercises, you start to use your muscles in different intensities, in different ways. So you start to kind of create put back into your body a balance between all the muscles and all of the joints. The third thing that I learned is stability exercises are the foundation for any movement. So let me explain that. You'll see, if you go to a gym anywhere, you'll see these people just trying to bench press a ridiculous amount of weight. And you just watch them and their form is just not correct and they're just hurting themselves. Now, perhaps you have more value for those people to be strengthening their rotator cuff, which actually stabilizes the shoulder joint and keeps it healthy and safe, than trying to strengthen the muscles that look good, like your chest and your triceps. I'm not saying that you can't exercise with big weights and big compound movements. I'm just saying that the basics, the foundation for any movement is the ability to stabilize the muscles and the joints that are working. And the fourth and last lesson that I learned from my injury was how hard it is to overcome your mental fear. It was actually a lot harder to fix my brain after I sprained my ankle than it was to fix my actual ankle. And that just sort of shows the power of the brain. Whatever you believe in, you can achieve. So when you do get hurt, focus on that. Focus on taking care of yourself, building up your confidence and your self-love again, and keep telling yourself positive things. I can do it. I can get better. I will get better. I will get back to where I was. I will become even better than where I was before. All of those positive things you have to keep feeding to your brain so your brain can start to believe it and understand it and make sense of it and then apply it to the body. If you just focus on the physical, the mental might always keep you back because it's not quite caught up. It's not quite fully healed. That's it, guys. That's my experience with my ankle sprain. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section down below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. I'll see you next time.